This Saturday on Campus Insiders, join us for Air Force football when the Falcons take on Abilene Christian. Kickoff at 2 Eastern, 1 Central, only on CampusInsiders.com. And Andrew Rodriguez plays it off one bounce, gets a great block. And Rodriguez out of bounds at the 39. The crowd really appreciating the block there.
Keeping this crowd energized. Watch this big block here by number 3, Elson. He's a backup free safety. Just lays the wood there. All right, I tell you, you got to keep your head on the swivel in special teams, man.
I mean, this is coming from a star tailback who played at Notre Dame. You didn't see special teams once.
Listen, not in college. I did in the pros, though. I saw it in the pros.
All right.
And
give you some credit there. That's even scarier, right?
Yeah, it's even worse. It is even worse for sure.
I don't recall seeing you run out for Notre Dame on special teams.
Little number 3 out there, running down on kickoff. Could do it.
Lindsey and Mays in at running back. Lindsey goes in motion. Before the play, we've got flags.
Practice now. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still first down now.
Well, conditions changing here.
There.
I mean, a lot. The wind in here is become a factor. I mean, you could hear the wind whistling through the mic of the official. And the flags, they are going right now. So it could change the strategy. I mean, you're thinking about going vertical into this wind, probably not going to work.
Well, this favors what the Aggies really want to do anyway because of Devontae Mays and what his ability is. They really want to run the football. So if it's an instance where you got to continue to go on the ground, that didn't hurt the Aggies. Who it hurts is the Wildcats.
It's Mays, and he breaks the tackle. One man to beat. Devontae Mays inside the 30, inside the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Aggies.
He's just seeing the field so well right now, Ari. Watch Mays here. He's going to get that ball one-on-one right now with Josh Burton. And Burton, no chance. He had no chance there.
66 yards on the touchdown. So
that's the difference, Ari. To be honest, that's the difference with good backs and great backs is that ability to be able to make a guy miss in space. Many guys can run through that hole, add some shiftiness, but when you're one-on-one with a defender in space, do you have the agility to make a miss? Mays certainly has it.
Well, all the good people at the Mountain West, they have a candidate for the National Player of the Week, and we're only a little bit into the second quarter. Devontae Mays, 7 carries, 145 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's averaging more than 20 yards per carry. Devontae Mays, great start. Well, welcome back, Devontae Mays. What a moment already, 145 yards.
Doesn't happen without the guys up front, Ari. Look at all those big bodies in there. And then he gets to that second defender, one-on-one with Burton. Oh, didn't have a chance there.
Yeah.
He had nothing for him. Devontae Mays, as good as advertised thus far. And I got to tell you, Ari, as a former running back, it really gets me excited to watch him put on a clinic right now because, in theory, the coaches are going to leave him in at least the rest of this half, maybe part of the third quarter. He could put up some serious numbers in week 1 as you get a shot there, 145 yards and 7 carries. I mean, 3 touchdowns.
Awesome.
We could be looking at 200, maybe 300 plus.
Brandon Sherlin is back, and he drops it, he muffs it, picks it up. Wildcats in trouble, and the Aggies smother him at the 13.
The Wildcats are really just out of sync in all facets of the game right now. You think about this in the rushing yards. We talk about how productive Devontae Mays has been. For the Wildcats, they got -6 yards rushing right now. -6.
And this is a team that last year ran it for almost 182 yards per game.
And they got a good stable of backs. So the issue has been the line of scrimmage. They're losing the line of scrimmage. But in order to stop that, they got to start to mix it up and throw the football.
Well, Clark just 3 of 6 for 29 yards. They do now have the wind behind them, though it's moving a little bit right to left. Clark completes it, and the tackle immediately made by Levitt. Levitt, the redshirt junior, I say that they're really excited about him. They like how physical he is, and here he displays it. That ball is caught.
Nice form tackle there. Levitt's got the nice size, 205, 5'10", but he transferred from BYU. They really like what they got in their safety.
For Utah State on defense, 8 new starters. Clark, this time he actually has time, goes through his progressions, and now he's looking to run. And Clark, he should go down. Instead, he takes the hit at the 19.
The Aggies rushed 4 there. Wildcats were in that empty formation, so no backs in the backfield. Clearly a passing situation for the Wildcats, but no one could get open.
3rd and manageable here. Bullard has picked up 2 first downs for them. He's lined up as the tight end on the near side, number 87.
I didn't think that this is the time to target the tight end. Got to get to the sticks. No matter what your route is, you got to get to the sticks.
And I can't emphasize how windy it is right now. I mean, it is gusting. And they'll keep it on the ground on 3rd and short. Second effort does not pick up the first down, a couple yards shy. And I'm telling you, the wind affects that play call.
No, it does. It really does. But in this type of situation, when you know you're not winning the line of scrimmage, I'm still scratching my head a little bit on the play call. It's 3rd and 5. You're down 21-0. I know the win is a factor, but you still got to play football. You still got to give Clark an opportunity at least to try to make a play.
DeMeo into punt. Rodriguez stands at his own 30. Not a good snap. They get it off, and boy, that wind's helping. Rodriguez is going to let it bounce, and it goes out of bounds right around the 30-yard line. So good job there in special teams. DeMeo, who was injured earlier in the game, does a good job, but it's all Utah State right now. They lead 21-0.
Lewis said, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity, and I'm going to stop something. I'm going to do something.
And a big difference on that series is Devontae Mays wasn't in there. When Mays is in there, it's a different looking offense.
He certainly brings a different type of punch, if you will, to the backfield.
Chandler Tunney, who got a flag.
Timeout. Utah State.
Timeout, Utah State. They try to get things coordinated in special teams.
Timeout. Correction. This will be timeout. Out.
4th and 5 coming up. Utah State's going to talk it over. The best plays from the biggest games every Saturday, every week. Now the football season is here. Don't forget, Campus Insiders is your one-stop shop to rewind and replay the best action of the day. And got a feeling people are going to stop and watch Devontae Mays highlights.
Quite a bit. I might look back and take a few notes myself.
Now, as a former tailback
so far
that had such a brilliant college career.
I appreciate you saying that. I do.
Well, it's the truth. You see different backs. Everybody brings something a little bit different, but his combination of his size and strength is unique.
Well, most coaches in the NFL at the next level are looking for a complete back. What that really means is they want a guy who can run in between the tackles, but also make a guy miss in space, like we've seen Devontae Mays do both in this game. So if he can add that wrinkle, I talked about this at the top, the pass pro and catching the ball out of the backfield, he's got a chance at the next level if he can prove to the scouts that he can do that as well.
Tonight going over 1,000 yards in his career. Chandler Tunney is back deep for the Wildcats. And this punt gets caught up in the wind. I mean, it's going backwards. It's not going to be a very good net punt there. And the ball at the 28-yard line, punting into the wind. It's going to be no picnic. This wind keeps up. 21-0 Aggies. Welcome back to Maverick Stadium, Logan, Utah. Mountain West Network on Campus Insiders, and for the first time ever in college football, this game streaming live on Twitter. You see the total yards, and Weber State has -4 rushing yards. And Utah State, the bulk of that 209 yards has come from Devontae Mays.
Yeah, he's got 140 yards of that 209 yards. But you have to talk about the line of scrimmage here and how Weber State has been losing it on both sides. Love to see Clark get an opportunity to start airing it out a little more and see if they can't take some of this momentum from the Aggies.
They are playing with the wind here in the second quarter. It's on the ground. It's Garrett. Good vision. And he gets to the 35. Brock Carmen makes the tackle. And again, brand new linebacking core. They had a couple of studs go in the third round of the NFL draft. So this is a remade defense with 8 new starters, but Carmen has shined multiple times in the first half.
We've seen him been very disruptive at the quarterback position, going after the quarterback and getting in and then making tackles in space, which is really hard to do with some of these tailbacks.
Another junior
for the Wildcats.
Yeah, another junior college guy, played at Riverside Community College. Second down, it's on the ground. It's Garrett.
It's, I got to be honest, it's slightly surprising that down 21-0, how committed Weber State is to running the football. I know that depth-wise, that's their deepest position is running backs. They got a number of different guys that they are confident in that they can carry the rock for them, but just continuing to stay on the ground.
It is interesting, especially with the win, because this is a team that has great balance. I mean, last year they averaged 182 yards on the ground and 188 through the air.
We haven't seen them air it out very much.
Third and 1. It's Garrett, first down and more. And Garrett gets into Aggie territory, tackled at the 45. Levitt with the tackle. 16 yards on the carry for Trayshawn Garrett.
The running game is every player has to get involved. If you look on the outside here, Cameron Livingston, the wide receiver, see him down there? He ran a go route and took the corner completely off the edge, which allowed it to be open for Garrett. Nice gain for the Wildcats and continuing to keep it on the ground. They are devoted to running the football here today.
Clark taking a little more time, looking over the defense. Batchelor in motion. Corey Thompson, the ball carrier, and he finally goes down at the 40.
Another one of those backs in that stable of backs, Thompson. But I mean, I'm watching now, and Ari, when you look on the edge, on the edges near the sideline for the Wildcats, it's Livingston one-on-one with corners. Now, I just want to talk about the height difference here. Livingston 6'2", and each corner is under 5'10". So I'm really surprised that they're not giving him an opportunity to go up and get the ball over some of these shorter corners.
He's lined up at the top of your screen against Daniel Gray.
Again, one-on-one coverage out there for Livingston.
Clark sees the pressure coming. He's going to take off. First down and more. And Clark inside the 30. He had quick recognition there that there was a lot of open space.
We've talked about the inexperience of that linebacking core. Watch all of these linebackers out of position and drop deep. No one there. Clark recognizes it and takes advantage.
They're the senior quarterback who started every game last season when they went 6-5, winning 4 of their last 6. Their first winning season in 5 years. They're projected 6th in the Big Sky.
Very experienced at the skill positions too, as we've seen.
Clark, wide open. Ball's bobbled and dropped. Would have been a touchdown for the Wildcats. Trayshawn Garrett, I mean, he had it in his hands multiple times. You're wondering where the vertical game, it was there.
That's it, you got an opportunity and you have to take advantage. Clark sees it, busted coverage here for the Aggies.
Look at that,
right
once,
in that breadbasket.
Twice,
Ari,
3 times.
we've talked about this already, Ari, about catching the football. When you allow it to get to your body, there's an opportunity to get hit a pad and bounce off. That's why it's so vital to use those hands when catching the football.
2nd and 10. Clark, pressure coming. He escapes. And Clark turns what looked like a negative play into an 8-yard gain. Now, he doesn't have what you'd call pure speed, But he's got smarts up there. I mean, he knows when the play's breaking down and he's taking off.
He's definitely taking what the defense is giving in here. This is how you know that he's a veteran quarterback. When nothing's downfield, he doesn't take a whole lot of time and try to force something or try to find a wide receiver. He's just going to tuck it and run. And that's what you want your quarterback to do. Take advantage of what the defense is giving you. And this brings up an interesting 3rd and short here in the red zone. They've been running the football quite a bit today. Let's see if they keep it on the ground.
2 for 7 on 3rd down. They're going to throw it. Got an open receiver, and it is caught. It's Thompson. And Thompson's going to be brought down at the 7-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal.
There's a nice play call here on 3rd down by the Wildcats. Thompson coming out of that fullback position and just ran a nice flat route. This goes right back to this linebacking core for the Aggies. They're inexperienced. We talked about the 2 draft picks that they had that they lost that went in the 3rd round.
Wasake finally makes the tackle, but you're right, the linebackers have struggled at times here in the first half.
Certainly struggled.
By far the best drive of the night for the Wildcats.
And we're starting to see them mix it up a little bit here, especially in the red zone with the run pass. Keep that defense off balance. Don't allow them to get a read on what you're doing.
Well, Weber State had some confusion. 41 ran in at the last moment, and they go ahead and use their second timeout. So we're going to take a break. A little more than 5 minutes to go in the first half. Utah State up 21-0. But Weber State making a run in the red zone. Welcome back. 1st and goal for the Wildcats. Utah State leading 21-0. Clark gives it to Thompson. Thompson will be brought down. Forward progress took him to the 4. Make sure to stick around at the half. We'll have a feature from our studios in Chicago. And then we're going to talk live with Mountain West Commissioner Craig Thompson. We're going to talk about the digital world, the new Twitter world in college football. And then he's going to have him stick around, and we're going to talk about how deep the Mountain West is and the prospects of getting into playoff, getting into New Year's Day bowl games. There are a lot of teams, including last year's champion San Diego State. So we will talk the digital world, and we will talk Mountain West football with the Commissioner, Craig Thompson. All that coming up at the half. 2nd and goal. Clark, play action. Wide open, and they can't convert. McKay Murphy, he's coming in from the defensive side of the ball in this special package. I mean, this is right here.
And they had an opportunity. Clark just gave him too much of a bullet. You got to understand who you're throwing to in certain situations like that. But they have mixed it up with this personnel. You see McKay Murphy there, number 90. They also bought in number 99, Felipe Satake.
That is some
He's
jumbo package.
also in there for a big jumbo package. So we're going beef and big up front right now for the Wildcats.
3rd and goal. Trying to cut it back. No place to go. Utah State. About 6 guys make the tackle. What do you do here? Do you take the points? Go for 3?
For me, I think you got to try to go for it here. You haven't really had many opportunities in the red zone, but this is an excellent job by the Aggies on defense here. Watch number 2 come down, Levitt. He's the one who really stops the runner from being able to go outside. It's a nice job coming in from that safety position. And we'll see what the Wildcats want to do if they just take the points. I mean,
well,
seems like they're trying to kick
let's
the field
keep
goal.
in mind, opening night, you got a brand new field goal kicker. You got new combination of who's snapping the ball, who's holding the ball, and you're on this hash.
First time in the red zone. How many opportunities like this are you going to get if you're the Wildcats? I mean, you have to consider going forward on 4th down and trusting that your defense will be able to stop them.
Unga is the injured player. And he's getting a round of applause as he's being helped off the field. Christopher Unga, a redshirt freshman from California. Rancho Cucamonga. So Taylor Heinz on to attempt the field goal. Just a 24-yard attempt. Good snap, good hold. Kick is on the way. No good.
Ari, I understand conventional wisdom would tell you to take the points there. But because of all the things that we listed, new kicker, new holder, first time in the red zone. Now it's easy, it is easy, Ari, after the fact to say, oh, they should have did this, they should have went for 4. But conventional wisdom says kick the field goal there. It's unfortunate that after such an excellent drive, the Wildcats come up with no points.
Yeah, almost a 6-minute drive. The Seth Davis Show is back for a brand new season. This week's guest, Clemson quarterback Deshaun Watson. Watch the entire exclusive interview after the game only on CampusInsiders.com. If you haven't seen the Seth Davis Show on Campus Insiders, I highly recommend it. I think he's just one of the best at interviewing people, breaking down the sport of college football and, of course, college basketball.
And who doesn't want to see Deshaun Watson?
Yeah,
What he's been doing at Clemson. He's an exciting player.
Utah State back on offense. Devontae Mays back at a tailback. He hasn't had a carry since his 3rd touchdown. Here's his 8th carry of the game. And he's going to get to the outside here. He was too fast for his own blocker right there. He rode up right on the blocker.
Sometimes you outrun the big guy there, but I've mentioned how running the football is such a team-oriented thing. We have an injured player here.
Yeah, Wildcat is down at the 20-yard line.
You had Roberts on that last play there at wide receiver get in and shot down on the edge, which allowed Mays to get to the outside. We'll have to check and see who the injured player is. Hopefully he's okay.
It has been a entertaining game amongst very strange conditions. It started out with virtually no wind, and now I feel like if we were standing out there on the field, I might just get blown away.
Well, you're pretty light. Yeah, you're kind of light. So I would agree with that.
Thanks for the help there, partner. Utah State upcoming schedule at USC next week. That's got to be exciting for the Aggie fan base, yes. Then home for a couple of games, and you start out the conference schedule.
Air Force,
getting Air Force at home. That's a huge game in the Mountain Division right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate with a lot of implications on a conference championship.
And how about then at Boise State? And you know Boise State, I mean, they must be thinking, we can't wait for them to get here. I mean, they put 52 points on Boise State last year.
Yeah, that was a big win for the Aggies. Boise State.
There's wind and weather. We've added some little bit of rain, and they've got some real stormy-looking clouds coming in here.
Things certainly turned south pretty quick here in Logan.
Yeah, well, a couple of years ago, opening game, I was at Wyoming. They had 2 lightning delays. Made for a very interesting opening night. I'm hoping that Mother Nature doesn't have something similar in mind. That rain is now coming even into the booth. You got a slicker for me? So 3:31 to go, and you can see some of the fans. They're like, hold on a minute here.
Yeah.
We got to get ready for the rain.
Not sure many were prepared for the rain.
Oh, it's such a beautiful day.
Such a nice day today.
Weather's been in the 90s and sunny all week.
Yeah, it was so nice. We actually got the opportunity to get out on the golf course.
With our Mountain West buddy, Blaine Fowler, yesterday.
Fowler, yeah. Out in Bountiful. Yeah.
So now the whole blue and white striping thing might get thrown off unless their jackets are also coordinated as well for the fans.
That would be something special if they had the coordinated jackets as well.
Mitch Tulane, the injured player, is being helped off. So good news, he's able to go out on his own. All right, so ready to resume play. 1st and 10 for the Aggies. Myers on the quarterback keeper, breaks a tackle, and then tackled at the 32, a loss of about a half a foot maybe. Junior Latu in there to make the play. He's a redshirt freshman from Tacoma, Washington. We have 3 minutes to go in the second half. We're working on getting the clock situation fixed. Myers looking to throw it, delivers it on time, catch is made.
One of the things you love to see, Ari, with an experienced quarterback, is going through those progressions. See Myers there, looks at option 1, looks at option 2, finds option 3 on the backside.
Landon Horn makes the catch. They've got time to work with here. Still more than 2.5 minutes to go. Myers looking downfield, and not too much on that throw. He's looking for Wyatt Houston, who's had a big first half. Houston 3 catches for 32 yards.
Yeah, Houston's a big target there, number 83, 6'4", 255 pounds. Myers trying to find him there. Just a little bit too much on it. Houston was able to get one of those big paws on there. But
and also, you know Myers has to be thinking, I'm throwing it into the wind, and just put a little bit too much on it. Now, the wind is really coming. I wonder here if the Wildcats will go for the block. You can probably bring everybody. Doesn't even have this punt. Last one only went 18 yards. Denby is back deep, and this punt is going to start to go backwards as well. And it is down at the 40-yard line. Just brutal conditions to punt into that wind.
Certainly, you're seeing it have an impact a little bit on the game and what everyone's tendencies usually are. For the Aggies on offense that time, we're used to seeing them dial up a lot of runs in that case, but they tried to go to the passing game a bit, but when they did, they were worrying about the wind, so they didn't allow it to.
Well, that was just a 22-yard punt, so the last two average out at 20 yards per punt. So another opportunity for the Wildcats. They looked terrific on their last drive.
They certainly did. We saw them mix it up with runs and passes. Clark was doing a good job of taking what the defense gave him, running when there was no one open.
And they're playing with the wind. Clark gives to Garrett. Garrett, good vision. And Garrett gets close to midfield. It appears he's just shy of the first down. Now, hold on. They improved the spot. They're going to move the chain gang. So the clock, 2:10 and counting.
Watch Garrett here. Just a nice little jump cut there to get in space and get in the hole. Nice vision by the young back.
And Garrett. Now keep in mind, the Wildcats only have 1 timeout remaining, and you can now see the time on your screen.
2-minute drill right now for the Wildcats. Already in practice, you go over this all the time, every day, at least for 10 to 15 minutes.
Clark delivers, and again, it's Vollert. I mean, that's been by far his favorite target in the first half, as he now has 3 catches, all 3 catches giving them first down.
You got to continue to monitor that matchup. We got the inexperienced linebackers trying to cover an experienced tight end, and Andrew Vollert, he's winning that battle right now.
On the ground, it's Garrett. Good thing that tackle was made. Garrett had a lot of green space in front of him. And timeout, Utah State. I think that's a good timeout because it felt like the defense was reeling a little bit there.
They were. It seems like the Wildcats have found something here on offense in the last 2 series. And it's interesting that they're going with Garrett instead of Wilkes at the running back position. You know, we heard from Coach Hill that Garrett's the guy who's really the every down back with the nice hands. So you got to assume that that's why he's in there, because in 2-minute drills, sometimes they got to throw the ball to the running back. But we did see Garrett drop one earlier, a touchdown earlier.
I mean, it was there.
It was there. It was in his hands, or should I say in his chest. Bounced off. So you always got to keep that in mind as a running back in 2-minute drill. There are times when you're going to be asked to catch the football because you're that last outlet.
I want to remind everyone, at the half, we will have a live interview with Mountain West Commissioner Craig Thompson. We're going to talk about tonight's opening night, first ever college football game streaming live on Twitter. Talk about the digital world and the innovations from the Mountain West.
Love Commissioner Thompson. You know, we got a chance to speak to him at the Mountain West Media Days earlier this year in Vegas. So excited about the Mountain West Conference and great things to come.
And we'll also have a segment from our studios back in Chicago. Clark in trouble, he'll be sacked. Well, they're a senior quarterback's got to get rid of the football.
You cannot take a sack there in that situation.
Tae comes in, number 51, the freshman, for the sack.
Throw the football away in 2-minute drill. You're wasting valuable time. Taking a sack.
Clark up the seam, caught. It's Vollert, is he in? Yes, touchdown Wildcats. 27 yards.
What a target Vollard has been. He has just been tremendous on every catch. Big play after big play. But it goes back to what we talked about at the top, Ari. This linebacking core for the Aggies is inexperienced. They're going against a good tight end. He's continuing to win in Andrew Vollard.
Well, Jay Hill's got to be pleased. His team has really settled down in the second quarter. That's 2 really good drives in a row. They could not come up with points. On their first drive, they missed a short field goal.
This play is under further review.
So they're going to review this. It was pretty close. We're going to have to see where the knee hit and where the ball was. So they will go and take a look.
Take another look at this ourselves.
In real time, it looked like it was a touchdown. I'm not sure there's going to be enough indisputable evidence to overturn the call, but here's another look.
Where's the question? Let's see. Look at that left hip. Does that hip get down before the ball crosses the plane?
This may give us a better look.
Let's see.
What a throw.
On the money, on the run.
You still can't tell where the ball is on his body right there.
Question. I mean, I don't see enough to overturn it at this point. Let's check this angle. Maybe this will give us a better view.
All right, so his hip is down now. And the football might be just shy. Yeah.
It's close. Wow.
That's by far
a
the
good
best
shot.
look.
Yeah, that's the best look we have.
If they overturn it, you'd probably say maybe 3 or 4 inch line, right? But it did appear the hip was down before the ball crossed.
Let's take one more look at this. Still watching for that left hip. That's the question. Is that down? You see the ball there on the inside of his body. The hip is down now.
And the ball is not in.
It's probably on like the 1 inch line. I mean, that's really close. Yeah.
We'll wait for the official decision.
Probably put it at the 1 inch line.
And given its opening night, I tell you, if you have a chance to take points off the board and make sure that Weber State has to execute another play to get the touchdown, I mean, this could really help out the Aggies.
Well, we've seen the Aggies stall the Wildcats on offense 2 times in situations similar to this. That first with the punt. The punt was the issue.
After further review, the ruling is that the receiver's leg was down on the ground with the ball short of the goal line. The ball will be placed at the 1/2 yard line.
Placed it at the 1/2 yard line there. So the video evidence was good. Great job by our camera crew. Capture all that. It's always, I wouldn't say upsetting is really the word, but like when you think you have a touchdown. It's happened to me before where maybe it's a holding call or something comes back to where you thought you had one and you didn't. It's a little unsettling. But as a tight end, the problem is on the 1/2 yard line, how can they really give him the ball even though they might want to? It's kind of tough. So might have missed out on an opportunity to touchdown there for Andrew Vollard.
Well, you've always been honest with me. You wanted the stats, so you wouldn't want your touchdown taken off and given to somebody else.
I don't think anybody would want would want their touchdown taken away.
Garrett, tailback. He moves Thompson now, the fullback. They give it to him, and he is going to be stopped. He does not get in, maybe even loses a few inches. Remember, Wildcats have 1 timeout left. There's no reason for them to be in a hurry.
Do have time there. Looks like we may have a cramping situation here.
The Utah State player is down. You can tell by what he's trying to do. It looks like it is a cramp.
Take another look at this here. Look at these big bodies up front. It's an excellent job by the Aggies on defense. Put it down. You can see how just on the shirts that people are wearing, how heavy that wind is. It's really coming in and
now
slicing down.
It's coming across the field now. Before it was going end zone to end zone, but now it's coming across the field, and it is moving. You see those flags going, and now the sun's starting to peek out again, so we've had all different kinds of weather.
Only in Logan.
I don't know. I'm going to go Laramie would be an option.
I probably would. Probably
Fort
would have
Collins, our
Fort Collins.
first Mountain West game together in 2011. You dealt with some weather down the sideline.
Sure did, yeah. My white puffy jacket. That was an interesting time 5 years ago.
Yes. But it's the start of your Mountain West broadcast career.
Sure is.
So second and goal coming up, 34 seconds on the clock. Weber State thought they had a touchdown. They reviewed it and put the ball at the half-yard line. Now they're in the I formation. They're going to throw it. Clark misses his target. There were two receivers in the area. He really needed to go the one further in the end zone. He could have just lobbed it in there and it would have been an easy touchdown.
Yeah, they had a chance again with Andrew Vollert. He's going to be at the bottom of your screen there. They decided to go towards the fullback instead of going to the next level of that route tree, hitting Andrew Vollert for what would have been his touchdown.
True, he would have gotten it.
Would have gotten it.
Yes.
All about the stats with me, all right? All about padding those stats.
Third and goal. It's Garrett, and he's in. Touchdown, Wildcats. Well, the Aggies made him earn it. But Weber State gets into the end zone and gets on the scoreboard. It's 21-6.
Such a big drive for the Wildcats. Garrett here, just find a seam. Find any kind of seam. You need a yard. That's what the coaches say. You need a yard. Keep those pads low and find any seam. Doesn't matter where it is. Just get that football into the end zone. It's a nice job by Garrett on this series and especially on that play.
Hey, Garrett, he was productive as a freshman. 5 rushing touchdowns last season. Oh, they've got problems on the extra point. And the punter's going to throw it up, and it's picked off by Utah State. But tackled at the 17.
Second miscue we've seen from the field goal unit for the Wildcats. First, they had an opportunity to make a nice chip shot. Missed it. And then this time, don't even get an opportunity to kick the extra point because of a muff snap and handle.
Well, there's been a lot of improvements here to Maverick Stadium, and take a look at the press box. We're fortunate to be here on opening night. They've done a beautiful job in this facility. Couldn't ask for anything more. Great views.
Certainly a nice
Look,
renovation
got a rainbow.
job.
I mean, I will say the Mountain West, the views from the press box, by far #1 in the country. It's not even close.
Agreed.
Here we're over.
Look at that. You got mountaintops there.
Yeah, you got it all.
See the stands.
Elevation always a theme in the Mountain West.
Sure.
Yeah, they put $36 million, 85,000 square feet. They got the new video boards.
Love those.
They're sort of a must-have now. I mean, Air Forces, they'll have them Saturday. New and
Sure
improvements. Will. The Mountain West make an investment in college football. So 26 seconds to go in the half. And
this happens sometimes, in the wind.
Someone may have to get down there and hold this football.
I need to find the safety valve. Usually is who they have do it. If it continues to fall, we'll be able to get the kickoff.
Kennedy Williams is back deep for the Aggies. Even with the wind, he doesn't get it all the way there. So a chance on the return. Defended nicely. Good special teams coverage from Weber State.
Seeing a little bit of that momentum shift, man. You're seeing just a little bit of it.
With just 20 seconds?
I think you kind of have to. You got the lead. You're up 21-6. No reason to press here. Take the knee. Go into halftime with the lead. At least that's what conventional wisdom would say. It's always easy to say that from the booth, all right, to decide what you should do.
Well, with only one timeout remaining in 20 seconds and you're up by 2 scores, why risk it? And this is already a very different game than when Weber State played here in 2013 when it was 70-6 final.
It was a blowout then. Certainly was.
Weber
the Wildcats
State,
battling back a little bit here tonight.
And they will take a knee. And if nobody calls timeout, they'll just let the final seconds of the first half tick away. Well, it looked like a game that was about to get out of hand. I mean, Devontae Mays was the star of the first half. 8 carries, 158 yards, and 3 touchdowns, including a 66-yard touchdown run. So Utah State leading 21-6. We are at halftime in Logan, Utah. Lots of great stuff coming up at the half. The highlight for us, a live interview with Mountain West Commissioner Craig Thompson. We talk about the digital world, and we talk Mountain West football with the commissioner. But first up, we will have a segment from our studios in Chicago. Halftime on the Mountain West Network on Campus Insiders.